Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 2022 Pivot Program Pitch Competition. My name is Pietra Rivoli, and I'm an MSB faculty member and also the Executive Director of the Pivot Program. On behalf of our entire leadership team here at Pivot, I would like to first thank all of our friends and supporters for being here today. And especially to congratulate every Pivot Fellow who has qualified for this event. We are thrilled to be on this journey with you, Pivot Fellows. This is your moment. Okay. I'm now very honored to introduce my friend and MSB colleague, Vice Provost Rohan Williamson. Vice Provost Williamson will deliver the official welcome. Thank you, Rohan.
Thank you, Pietra, and thank you for all your hard work you put into the Pivot program. I first want to say congratulations to the fourth cohort of the Pivot Fellows for just making it this far. On the behalf of the Provost's office at Georgetown, I want to welcome all the members of our community that's here today. That includes faculty members, staff, the Pivot Fellows, and the alumni, and the MSB alumni and board members. So welcome all for being here. I remember meeting this class back in the fall and hearing about the plans and their plans and aspirations. I was so impressed with them and all that they have overcome. And now I'm also so impressed with all that you have achieved. And it's an honor for all of us to know that Georgetown has played a role in your journey. Entrepreneurship is a vital force for creating, and it's for creating jobs, for creating wealth, and for creating positive change in our communities. It's also a path for creating and controlling your own future. I'm excited not only to hear from the cohort 4 today about their business plan, but also to hear from some of our Pivot alumni who are joining us today to share in their entrepreneurship stories. I continue to be encouraged also by the networks that are being developed here through the Pivot program, because as it states in Proverbs, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So thank you very much for your participation, and thank the leaders, planners, and all the faculty for their hard work and dedication to the successes of the program. Now, I want to turn it over to our MC today. That's Dr. Crystal Francis, the program manager for the Pivot program. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us for our 2022 Pivot Pitch Competition. Again, my name is Dr. Crystal Francis. I'm so happy to serve as the MC for this event. Now, for over 4 years, the Pivot program and our partners have supported the entrepreneurial aspirations of people returning back home to our community. 8 Pivot Fellow finalists will be pitching for $10,000 in prize money, and each of them have worked extremely hard to get to this point. So we're really excited to hear about their ventures. Now, for just some Zoom housekeeping rules, I want to invite you, all of the audience members, to post your questions and cheer fellows on using the chat feature at the bottom of your screen. If you would like to connect with one of our fellows regarding their venture after today's event, please email us at pivot.georgetown.edu. Again, that's pivot.georgetown.edu. Now, I would like to invite my colleague to the stage, Dr. Josh Miller, the Managing Director, to give you an overview of the Pivot program. Josh, welcome to the virtual stage.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Pivot Fellows, congratulations for making it this far. I just want to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing for the last 4.5 years, because Mark Howard and Pietra Rivoli started this program 4.5 years ago with an idea about how to solve reentry issues in DC, which has one of the highest incarceration rates in the country. It's a country that itself is one of the top incarcerators in the world. We know that returning citizens struggle because of lack of access to jobs and housing, and we saw an opportunity to correct that. This program blends professional development, academic training and business fundamentals and entrepreneurship, and an internship in relevant industries But it all culminates in this moment, this pitch competition that you're here to observe. Now, our fellows are going to go on to do great things. They'll take jobs in industry, they'll start new businesses, but I just want to say again how proud I am of their work and what you're about to see today. I also want to express our deep gratitude to our sponsors and supporters, especially the DC Department of Employment Services, the Second Chance Business Coalition, and the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation. And finally, to the AEA Investors Group. Their partnership makes our program possible. Crystal, let me turn it back to you.
Josh, thank you so much. And again, thank you to our program partners. Well, before we jump into the pitch, I want to invite two special people to the stage. The winners of the 2021 pitch competition, Victoria Hunt and Latasha Moore. They will give you their reflection of what it's like to win a pitch competition. Victoria, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Crystal. I'm so honored to be here, and I just want to thank the Pivot program for inviting me back. Congratulations to the third cohort. And as I reflect back on this experience, it has been a blessing for me because I was able to relaunch my career from being incarcerated through an internship in cohort 3 with Dick's Sporting Goods. I am currently the DEI Rotational Program Coordinator in the corporate office, which focuses on training our leaders on accelerating cultural transformation in the workforce that aligns with my passion and purpose. And this would not have been possible without the tools, knowledge, and preparations from the Georgetown Pivot Program. That set the foundation of creating the DEI staffing company with my colleague, Latasha Moore, for the pitch contest. So with that being said, it has been amazing to have a career in a field that impacts so many people in their daily lives. So I just feel honored and thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Since winning the pitch competition, it has been an honor and a pleasure to work with the Georgetown Pivot Program. I am so proud of all the fellows. Congratulations and good luck on your future endeavors. You are well on your way to becoming business entrepreneurs.
Well, our pitch competition would not be what it would be or possible without pitch competition judges. So judging today's competition are the following: Dr. Mohammed Duji, Dr. Kareem El Sol, Greg Frazier, Dr. Patricia Grant, Aaliyah Graves Brown, Charles Jones, Guillermo Pla, Jeff Reed, and Jason White. And as you can see, they have some really diverse industry experience based on the credentials that you see presented here. So judges, thank you so much for taking the time to judge this event. Here to give a brief overview and moderate today's pitch competition is Dr. Alyssa Lovegrove. She is the Academic Director for Pivot and Teaching Professor. Alyssa, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Crystal. Hello, everybody. I'm going to add my welcome to the remarks you've already heard. And let me just begin by telling you a little bit about entrepreneurship and how it fits into our curriculum. Entrepreneurship has always been a core component of the Pivot curriculum. And that's both because it allows the fellows to learn the fundamentals of business, but also because it inspires them and enables them to become opportunity spotters and to see how they can create a pathway for themselves and for others. And so for the first few months of the course, we've been looking at lots of existing businesses and understanding what makes them successful. In these final few weeks, we've asked the fellows to apply that to areas that are of interest to them and to develop a concept for an attractive revenue generating opportunity. So what our judges will be looking at today is a combination of the quality of the idea and the quality of the presentation. So quality of the idea means, is this a business concept that is potentially profitable? Is it feasible for the fellow to deliver it? Does it address an important market opportunity? Quality of the presentation is whether the presenter communicated it well, had appealing visuals, touched on all the important points that an investor or a supporter would expect to hear. So the judges will assign scores on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the highest, and those scores will determine our winners. So with that, I think I will let us get on with the main event. Our first presenter today is Joe Houston. He's going to tell us about WeFit Ninja.
Greetings, Sharks. My name is Joe Houston Jr., and I'm the founder and CEO of WeFit Ninja. Today, I'll be pitching a ninja facility. Wow, how did I forget to tell you guys that I'm an American Ninja Warrior? Yeah, I competed on one of NBC popular shows, American Ninja Warrior, that was debuted back in 2009. So I want to bring a dynamic fitness experience to DC. I want to train the American Next Ninja Warrior, possibly myself. So what is ninja? What is ninja? I'm gonna show you guys a quick video of me. This is 12 feet. This is a personal record for me. Me and my Robin costume. This is a 14.5-foot wall. So, don't this look fun? Don't this look just beyond just swinging on poles, balancing, doing all types of crazy things, just don't want to leave and go home? So, the problem is we don't have any in the DC area. DC being one of the fittest cities in America, actually ranked number 6. We have a plethora of different varieties of fitness that we can provide, from boxing, from jump rope classes, but we don't have ninja. I'm confident, me as myself, we have an audience for that here. We have a need for that here. Instead of, for me, I have to travel 45 minutes, including traffic, an hour out to go to Ashburn to train ninja, to train for these competitions. So the solution is a ninja gym in DC. Why not? I also want to provide high quality obstacle courses, experienced trainers, kid-friendly environment, and also general fitness as well. Our competitors, as you see, WeFit Ninja checks all the boxes. Nova Ninja checks majority of the boxes, but they're not in DC. Our target market, as me as the serious athlete, we need places to train for local competitions, the big stages like American Ninja Warrior, just a place to get better and work on our form. We also want to target moms, dads, community organizations that want to get their youth involved in something different, a safe place to have fun. And we don't want to leave out the casual athlete that's seeking new challenges and want to just have fun as well. Our boutique gym market size. As you see, 42 of the nation account for boutique gym memberships. That's a large amount. Our revenue model, we have 2 direct memberships, and that's our adult and that's our youth membership. But we know that makes 50% of our revenue that we expecting to bring in. So we need something else to make up that rest. And we have that on the side in regards to merchandise, personal training, also space rental. Our startup cost is about $56,000, renovation, insurance, etc. Our financials, as you see, year 1, we just got over the hump in regards of breaking even. We profit about 4%. Year 2, we make a more attractive profit in regards to profit about 16%. If I was to win the pivot funding, that will go towards planning and licensing. My team, myself as founder, I'm also a certified NASM instructor. I'm also American Ninja Warrior. I'm the founder of We Fit DC. And my partner in crime, Sean Steele Weeks, is also a founder. It's a certified trainer, American Ninja Warrior as well, and also ambassador. I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to share my pitch. Also, just thank the panel. I want to thank Georgetown for giving me this opportunity to be a part of the Georgetown family, the culture. And I also want to say a big shout out to my venture coach, Coach Howard. Below is my contact information. Thank you guys so much. And also shout out to my my fellows. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right. Questions from the judges. If I may, I think, Kareem, I'd like to start with you. Do you have a question for Joe?
Well, first of all, congratulations, Joe. Very inspiring pitch. Made me want to go and hit the gym tonight, if possible. I'm dialing in from Abu Dhabi. It's dark here, but I'll still go to the gym. I had a question for you. I mean, it sounds very exciting, this Ninja Gym concept, but it seemed a bit very focused for serious athletes. Like when I pass next to Barry's boot camp, I get scared. It sounds too aggressive for me. So do you think you can also attract the casual athlete, the youth, or only the serious professional athletes?
Yes, as on my slide, like we do want to be open to other people like the youth because it's kid friendly. They also have a series called American Ninja Junior. So we know kids parties. We want to make a kid friendly environment as well. And, you know, as casual athletes, I know I train a lot of them. They want to seek new things. So here in DC, it's a big audience. So they just want to try out different things.
Okay. And the second question I had, I saw your startup cost is $56,000, and the first year you hope to reach $365,000 in sales to reach hopefully break-even profitability. How many members is that to reach $365,000 in sales?
So in regards to if it's just the memberships alone, in regards to like the adult memberships, it's over 3,000 memberships. But you know, I'm not solely just like breaking the bank on all membership. That's why I got the other sources of revenue like birthday parties, renting the space out, merchandise. So memberships will make like majority of the revenue, but I got other ways that I make that money as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Let's see, Jason, do you have a question for Joe?
Joe, how are you? Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Question for you. I think it's a great idea, and that map you showed was really compelling. I'm also a firm believer there are no new ideas. So why hasn't this been done in DC? What are the barriers to entry? Like, why this huge white space in DC?
That's a great question. The reason is because it's just it's really hard to it's hard to really answer that question because, you know, ninja, it's a lot of ninjas because we don't have that culture. To answer that question, to be straightforward, we don't have that culture. We got ninjas that's going on American Ninja Warrior like myself and a lot of other guys, but nobody really was willing to step out there and make that stance. So basically, I want to make that stance, been on the episode, seeing the need, and I wanted to address that need here in the DC area. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Joe. Charles, you got a question for Joe?
Yes, I do. First of all, Joe, thanks. It was an amazing presentation. I did have a question. So for a person like me who likes to work out and run, but I'm not necessarily into like bodybuilding, would being part of this gym at least allow me also to lose weight if I just want to do something different, or is this all about strength?
Yes, sir. So this is definitely not just about strength, it's about balance. To be honest, to be real brief with you, like a lot of Ninja Warriors on the show, you can't really be strong. This is really about like slim. We work on agility, balance, spatial awareness. So we also want to offer general fitness as well. So we will have like pull-up rack if people just want to do push-ups and small dumbbells.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Great job, Joe. Okay. Well, with that, I think I'm going to move on to our next presenter. Our next pitch is going to come from Anthony Dickey, and he's going to tell us about 1140 Music Alliance.
Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Dickey, and today I'll be introducing my artist development company, 1140 Music Alliance. Here, we cultivate talent. A little bit about myself. I'm currently an artist. I go by the stage name of SRD the King. I have more than 20 years of experience in music and more than 5 years of experience in the professional music industry. I'm currently on all streaming platforms, and I'm a local DMV artist as well. I have done multiple collaborations with many various of artists. I have also written for many other artists and helped to cultivate different talents. The problem, many artists in their early stages of their career don't understand the business side. They lack the knowledge that they need to understand how money is generated and therefore cheated. Solution. We provide the consultant service to our clients on both the business and the music aspect, increasing their chances of having a sustainable music career. We do this by teaching them royalties, publishing, ownership, and how to create revenue stream. Here's an artist that I'm currently cultivating right now.
Turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me and tell me no lies. Just hold me close. Don't patronize. Don't patronize. 'Cause I can make you love me if you don't.
Our target market, we specifically target emerging artists at the very earliest stages of their career, hoping to teach them the knowledge that they would need to make sure that they make good decisions for their career financially. Our competitive edge, we offer more services than our direct competitors and our indirect competitors. Need and demand. Did you know that some of the world's greatest artists were ripped off? The Beatles, SWV, TLC, Dr. Dre, all of them were cheated out of money because they didn't understand the music business. If they had a company like 1140 Music Alliance to teach them the business side of it, they probably would have generated way more money than what they did for themselves at the time. Our business model, you can either get packages and get discounts on service, or you can get individual services and pay individually for them. Income streams and launch plans. How we're paid through royalties, artists paying for direct services, membership packages, and services provided to larger companies through contract work. We're paid hourly as well. Meet the team. Myself, Mark Henry, Jamar, Jams, Prez, and Nate. We all collaborative, have more than 40 years of experience put together in the music industry. Myself, an artist, Mark Henry, a producer, Jamar, audio and film production, Jams, specialization in audio engineering, Press with the studio, High State of the Art Studio, and Nate, who's also a label owner and a partner of mine. We asked for $5,000 startup, 70% for our business licensing and fees and platforms and distribution. And then we're asking for 30% to cover potential clients' needs to basically market them in hopes to attract more customers through the results of the work that we do with these clients. I'm already working with one, if you already heard. Here's my contact information. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. Lots of talent there. All right. Let's get some reactions from the judges. Let's see. Greg, do you have a question for Anthony?
Yes, Anthony, great job.
Thank you.
It was great to hear that, as well as see the, even better to even hear the experience. So, current client, yeah, I love that real life experience. It's not just an idea. You already have some implemented in this already. So it's great. I know DC's already have great music coming out of it. So it sounds like an awesome idea. Question I probably have from this is, so I saw your revenue thing, and I noticed revenue is actually a great model where you're looking at giving people options in terms of either they can, it's like an a la carte. I can choose a certain item, or it's actually, a package deal. From your planning perspective, where do you think you'll get majority of that coming from? Do you think more people will get the package, or do you think, it's a lot of your revenue will probably come from the individuals? Where do you expect to come from?
I believe that a lot of my revenue will come from the packages. Based on the packages, you'll get a discount, and that'll allow you to get more bang for your buck. I believe that the individual services will probably be more based on people who are a little more established, and they don't want us to take part in any of their financial revenue from the work that we offer them.
Very cool. And then a second question I have. So I always want to figure out, like, what do you see, like, what's your, I guess, interpretation of success? Like, we have this pitch, we got the plan, you have the execution, you see your revenue schemes. Once we check on you 5 years from now, we check on you next year. What's your accomplishments? What do you hope to accomplish? What are your goals with this year?
Well, I honestly hope to cultivate as many artists as I can, because eventually what will happen is that word of mouth, they'll let them know, the great work that we're doing. And nowadays, industry labels don't want an artist that isn't already established. So we do that for them. Maybe I'll get contracted out by a bigger label because they see the work that we're able to do.
Already ready to get bought out, man. All right, great job, man. Good to hear you.
Thank you.
Terrific. Let's see, Kareem, have you got a question for Anthony?
Yes, congratulations, by the way, impressive team and track record. This is very needed. But with all talent agencies, it's all about scouting and finding the talent early on. So how are you going to find those customers to sign them up and identify that new talent early?
Well, I've been looking at, I've been doing a little scouting, but I've been looking at Duke Ellington, which is a great school of musical arts. But in all actuality, I plan to market the team that I already have. Like, I have a few people that I'm cultivating. I market them, and talent will probably find me because they'll see the need for what we do for their career.
Are you looking at social media as well, and to reach and project your services?
Yes, we are. I'm currently actually in the process of I'm currently an artist now, and we've actually took some time to study the algorithms of social medias, and we know exactly where to put certain advertisement at and how to pitch to certain audience. And thanks to Pivot as well, I've learned market segmentation and how to kind of just directly apply something to a certain audience.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Let's see, Charles, have you got a question for Anthony? Yep, Charles is on mute. Yep, there we go. Charles, I think you might still be on mute. Are you able to unmute yourself?
You have to be on mute.
Here we are. Actually, I do not have a question, but I will say, Anthony, it was a great presentation.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Okay. Any other questions for Anthony? All right, judges. I think in that case, we're going to move on to our next presenter. We're going to hear now from Mustafah Muhammad. He's going to tell us about the hybrid elevation reentry house.
Good day, everyone. My name is Mustafah Muhammad, and I'm a returning citizen of the Georgetown University Pivot Program. And today, I want to introduce to you HER, which is an acronym for Hybrid Elevation Reentry Home. HER is a new kind of halfway house transitional living model. Our programs are designed specifically for men and women who are committed to achieving a positive outcome for a successful reentry. Right now, everyone gets the same one-size-fits-none treatment. In most halfway houses, the conditions are just not appropriate for those who are ready to excel and need less supervision. We offer a much more flexible and less restrictive living environment where our residents can really focus on setting and achieving their personal goals. We start working with people on the inside 12 to 18 months before they are being released. Everyone who wants to live inside the house attends a mandatory pre-release program in which we create a personal reentry plan. This allows them to get a head start on what they need to do. And it also allows us to see who is truly serious about achieving their goals. That release plan remains the same in place once residents are released. At that point, residents will be heavily supported by our coaches and staff, as well as residents who can act as mentors. As you can see, we are truly different from the rest. Most transitional living houses providers are not able to offer customized programming that begins inside. As proof of concept, we plan to start with a 5-person home and then acquire additional properties. We estimate that the cost of accommodation for a 5-person home will be approximately $150,000 per year. Including the rest of our operation costs, the annual budget will be approximately $575,000 a year. We estimate that it will cost us $245,000 to get the first property to set up and running. Our funding will come from a combination of fee for service contracts and government foundation grants and other donors, multiple service streams, multiple funding streams. And last but not least, why DC needs her? Well, the proof is in the pudding. All the struggles that I went through, trying to maintain and get ahead as being a returning citizen and being a highly motivated returning citizen. I ask you all to contribute to the struggle and help those like myself return successfully into our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mustafah. I think we all, your comment right at the beginning, one size fits none. I think we all have seen that, recognized that. I know it's been a frustration of yours and for many other Pivot Fellows. So let's have some questions for Mustafah. Aaliyah, do you have a question for Mustafah?
Yes. Hi, Mustafah. Great presentation and really great idea. I was particularly drawn to the customization element that you highlighted and being able to figure out plans that are individualized to ensure success. You mentioned programming that would begin pre-release. So I'd love to hear more about that. Are you envisioning partnerships or contracts with facilities like DC Jail or BOP facilities that tend to house large populations of DC residents? Tell me more about how you would achieve that those pre-release goals.
Correct. So ultimately, I would like to land those contracts, but initially, being as though this is a startup, it's like a test run with the first 5 people that I want to start out with. I'm gonna try to hire a few people just to do correspondence. I'm gonna email guys because in the federal prison, DC guys have access to email for a certain amount of time. They have access to phone and they have access to U.S. Postal Service. So I'm gonna correspond with guys back and forth for the first 18-month period. And that would be like a screening process with them. And that time they would be put with someone to help them do a screening of like, what they want to do, what's their background, what they need, what they don't need, which direction they want to go. And depending on that individualized or tailored plan that has been put together by not us, but the individual themselves, along with some mentorship and some coaching, they would be able to come out into one of our houses, already have their laptop, their own room, all of those types of things, and they would work their way back into society with so much less of a threat, I feel like.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mustafah. Any other questions for Mustafah? Yeah, Mo, go ahead. Please.
Yeah, Mustafah, what a fantastic idea and very touching thought. Good job. My question is around your cost structure. And you said that your cost is about 550,000. And then your revenue stream, you are also a little bit dependent on foundations and grant money. So my question is that what happens if that money does not come in consistently? Then how do you foresee for it to be sustainable?
So I'm going to have this structured like as you said, as a 501c3. But what I will do is I will ask guys if they have the ability to do so, because there are guys who come into the community who are highly motivated. And when I returned home from prison, I came home, I got 3 jobs right off the bat. I worked a bunch of different. Can you hear me? My internet is going in and out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit choppy. Go ahead.
And as regards to that, I feel like that same extra money that I was making, just spending recklessly or hanging out and stuff like that, if the surroundings and the actual environment is the right environment for a person, it's not a problem for them to contribute $100, because most halfway houses charge for bed space. So once guys are in position, I'd probably charge a small fee for bed space, and then that same money will be donated back to the guys once they graduate or leave the halfway house and go to the next program.
Right. Terrific. Let's see, Jeff, do you have a question for Mustafah?
Well, wonderful work. I guess my question is, what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be to getting this off the ground?
I don't think the challenges are big. Right now, it's just making the time. I'm a intern right now at National League of Cities. I also come to Pivot, and working on this stuff is time consuming, family, all of those things. So, and I've only been home for 14 months. So I'm gonna say within the next 18 months, because the process is 18 months to actually target my guys, correspond with them, see and stuff like that. I'd use that 18-month period to also get the groundwork started, whether it be trademarking, partnerships, whoever I need to contact, start building my team and things of that nature.
Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Mustafah. Okay, let's move on to another one. Next up is Mohammed Al-Mahdi, and he's going to tell us about already in motion towing.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Al-Mahdi, and I'd like to introduce to you Already in Motion Towing Company. So let's start with our target customer, who is the private property owner. In particular, it's the residential building owner or property manager, or the commercial business owner or his manager, based in Baltimore City, which has a private parking lot. So their problem is that they have unauthorized parked vehicles on their private property. If it's a business, that means that customers can't park, can't get in, can't purchase goods. That costs the business money. If it's a residence, that means that you have angry residents because they can't find parking once they get home. They don't have the equipment in order to remove the cars. And even if they did, they have no place to put the cars if they could tow them. So the second problem is poorly lined and signed parking lots.
This usually comes about when a parking lot is old and hasn't been refreshed. Our solution is to contract with private property owners to manage and regulate their parking lots based on their needs. How do we do this? Parking management for private properties. So we start by aligning and marking the parking lot, which includes fire lanes, visitor parking, handicap parking, reserved parking, and any other types of areas that they need to have marked with lines. And then we want to do after that is we want to create signage for these areas. Lastly, we can create parking permits, which we give to the owners of the residences and the businesses, and they can pass those out to residents and their customers, so that we as the tow truck drivers can identify which cars are supposed to be in which areas. That brings us to our number 2 service, which is private property impound towing. And that is just us towing those cars from those private properties to our impound lot and removing them from those properties so that we can free up those spaces. Competition. There are many tow companies, including Greenwood Towing, Vision Record Service, and Universal Towing. However, towing companies, as a general rule, do not offer parking management services, leaving us as the only company that would offer that. Also, many tow truck companies just don't want to be involved in the private property impound towing area. They stick to other areas of impound towing like police towing, or they stick to roadside service and insurance towing. That leaves this particular area underserved because they don't want to deal with irate, angry, and aggressive customers. Our revenue model includes our parking management services, which is on an a la carte basis. You choose what you need, as much as you need, depending on how large your lot is. And so that deals with the lining, the signage, and the parking permits. That is charged directly to the owners of the buildings or the businesses, as opposed to our towing services, which is charged directly to the owners of the cars which are towed at a rate of $350 per day per tow, and $15 per day for the storage fee after the first day. In a typical 30-day month with one truck, we hope to tow at least 300 cars. This is a very conservative number. And if we're able to do this, we will be able to bring in $105,000 of revenue per month. This is without even including the storage fee or the property or the parking management fee. One, storage fees are rarely charged because many customers come to pick up their cars within the first 24 hours, and the parking management fee may not be charged on a monthly basis. Within our expenses, we have our lot rent, insurance premiums, fuel, employee pay, and maintenance, as well as miscellaneous, which brings us a total expense of about $46,900. That leaves us a net profit of approximately $58,100 before tax. That's about 55% of our revenue. Our startup costs will be approximately $57,500. This includes our tow truck cost of $45,000, impound lot deposit and lease, our business licenses, our insurance premiums, and miscellaneous costs. Our team is myself, Muhammad Al-Mahdi, the managing partner of the LLC, and our operations manager, Zaki Abdul Rahim, who has over 20 years experience in the towing and parking management industry. We'd like to start this business within the next 3 months. And our next step will be to find a suitable impound lot as well as purchase a tow truck. If we win the pitch contest, the prize money will be used for our startup costs. Now that we've come to the end, I'd like to open it up for questions for anyone who may want to add something about this venture. Thank you.
Zaki Abdul Rahim.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Mohammed. All right, let's have some questions for Mohammed. I will say it does sound like you've identified a real pain point. So let's see. I can see. Let's see. Charles, do you have a question for Mohammed?
I do have a quick question and a comment. So first, great presentation. Any reason that you would not like to do this in the District of Columbia, or this just Baltimore? And if, yeah, that's the question.
Okay, so the first reason I chose Baltimore is because Baltimore has the highest tow rate in the region at $350 per tow.
Okay, thank you.
And the second reason is that when it comes to Washington, D.C., leasing in Washington, D.C., any type of property is not very competitive as regards to other areas, the surrounding counties, and especially in Baltimore, where it's a lot cheaper.
Okay, so you've done your research. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Let's see. Aaliyah, did you have a question for Mohammed?
Yeah, great presentation, Mohammed. Something, particularly how you frame this as parking lot management, really struck me. And you mentioned another one of your services being sort of signage, updating lining and things like that. Have you considered using that as a sort of a business development tool, right? So having an arm of your company that I don't know, perhaps surveys the area to find parking lots that have outdated signage or lines and such in order to attract customers and sort of let them know that that's one of your services. Have you considered that?
I have not considered that, mainly because our main line of business will be the towing, which would produce more recurrent revenue.
Thank you. Okay, let's see, got a couple more questions. I think, Jason, do you have a question for Mohammed?
I'm doubling down on with Aaliyah. You have two business models here. One feels like an easier entry point, which is this upgrade and maintenance of these lots. And I would just encourage you, and one feeds the other. And I think you sort of already saw that connection, but I would encourage you to think about really the viability of both businesses and that sort of maintenance and service side of it could be very lucrative and might scale faster than the tow business. So I would really think about both of those.
I would definitely consider that. I appreciate the advice.
Okay, let's see. Kareem, I think you had a comment or a question for Mohammed as well.
Yeah, it's a very interesting business model. I like it a lot. It could be scalable. And one comment I had or feedback is I was looking at your startup costs. Your biggest cost is the truck, the towing truck at $45,000. Maybe you should consider leasing the truck and doing monthly leasing fees like this. Your startup cost is much lower, and you could actually launch 3, 4, 5 trucks and not just do Baltimore, but other cities as well.
That's a very good suggestion, and we're definitely going to consider the leasing model also.
Thank you.
That is a great suggestion. Okay, any other questions for Mohammed? All right, good. Well, what we're going to do now, I'm going to take a short, we're going to have a short interlude break from the pitches. What we'd like to do is share with you some words from our fellows, reflections on what the Pivot program means to them, has meant to them. Judges, you have a few minutes now. If you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity to catch up on your scoring, please feel free to start submitting some ratings to us. After this video finishes, we're going to hear our next 4 presenters. So let's go with the video.
Pivot is everything to me.
It's just been a beautiful experience for me through this whole program.
It's making me want to be more of a professional, you know, and it's also making me want to reach out to people that need help, to learn that there are opportunities like this for people with backgrounds like mine.
Well, Pivot gave us a second chance. It helps to enrich the minds of people who haven't had the opportunity to go in different areas to reach this type of learning.
Pivot focuses more on those skills and the type of jobs that will actually lead to careers.
Pivot has come and given us the opportunity to rub shoulders with people, to learn with people, to collaborate with people, and ultimately work together to change some of those outcomes.
It's like a great opportunity to get us into a position of empowering ourselves.
Pivot is so vital to where I am today.
What Pivot has done, it has shown me how to kind of get back in the game, how to regain my confidence.
I've gained the confidence and the surety that I feel like I belong now.
Pivot helps formerly incarcerated people. They give us a chance so that the world can see us not just as felons, ex-felons, but as professionals, entrepreneurs.
Returning citizens have numerous skills that they bring to the table.
When I first started at Pivot, I only believed that I was a fitness trainer. I've come to believe that I can be an employer. I've come to believe that I'm a businessman. I've come to believe that I can be successful at anything that I apply myself to as a professional.
If I had to describe Pivot in one word, I would say clutch.
Necessary. Dynamic. Groundbreaking.
Change, surprising,
Thorough.
exquisite.
It's powerful.
It's family, you know?
That's lovely. Thank you, guys. All right, judges, we ready for 4 more pitches? We're gonna carry on. Our next up is Amber Crowder. She's gonna tell us about B.a.R.
Hi, my name is Amber Crowder, and I am the co-owner of B.a.R, an LLC dedicated to consulting, owning, and operating inclusive communities within the hospitality industry. My best friend of 26 years came out to me in 2013 as queer. She asked that I support her by going with her to queer bars in DC. Of course, I said yes, so over the next couple of weeks, we went to Nellie's, Dirty Goose, and A League of Her Own. We were really uncomfortable and had a horrible time in each and every bar. No one looked how we looked. They didn't play any of the music that we wanted to hear. And a lot of times when you're the only person of color in an establishment, you get stared at, and that feels super unwelcoming. Which brings me to the dilemma. Queer people of color do not feel comfortable in bars that are not inclusive. Seeing the need for this in the market, I opened up my own inclusive space called Wicked Bloom Social Club. It was successful from the jump because there was such a need for it. If you look over to the left, we started to outgrow the 1,000 square foot space. I started looking for additional commercial space. Then the pandemic hit in March of 2020, and the mayor implemented a citywide shutdown. Since our lease was up in October, I decided not to renew it and just go ahead and focus all of my energies toward a new space. This new larger space will still be built on the idea of inclusivity, and it will also be a space where you can come and feel safe no matter what your race or sexual orientation. An inclusive community is a place where everyone can exist, and it really works hard for people who have been historically marginalized to feel equal. B.a.R is inclusive because we are Black-owned, woman-owned, queer-owned, and formerly incarcerated-owned. DC has one of the largest queer populations in the country. 92,378 people in DC are queer people of color. There are only 12 queer bars in DC, and none of them target people of color. We have decided on a location on the H Street corridor, which I liken to kind of like a hipster U Street. The address is 1402 H Street Northeast. We're going to call it The Bloom, an ode to Wicked Bloom. It's 3,400 square feet, and we anticipate opening in September of 2022. Right in time for the H Street Festival, which should generate a nice amount of money. There are no bars on H Street that will offer what the Bloom will. H Street is a really long corridor that starts at the 300 block and goes all the way to the 1500 block. I decided to do a comparison of bars between us from the 1200 block right to the 1500 block. We're all kind of in walking distance from each other. There's only one other bar that caters to people of color, and there are no bars that cater to queer people. So we feel really good about having our presence right there in that community. We're going to make revenue off of hookah, which is really popular right now. It causes people to stay at the bar longer and drink more, which in turn causes them to spend more money. The main way that bars actually generate money is through alcohol sales, which can have a 400 to 500% markup. Then we'll be selling food, which is a really good way to address people that don't drink, but also for people that do drink, it helps to soak up that alcohol. Lastly, we'll be having events, and that'll be a good way for us to meet people who have never heard of our establishment. In order to make sure that we're still relevant, we do a weekly pop-up every Monday, really odd day to have an event, but we still make between 7K and 15K every Monday. And if you look at this video, you can see that we fill this 2,000 square foot space up quite lovely. We also will be having a sublease with this coffee shop who has a really good presence in the DMV area, and they're going to split 50% of all of our operating costs. We've been contacted by the mayor's office of the LGBTQ affairs. We have a large social media following, and since we are the only bar of this kind, we have already been contacted by a lot of press. My business partner, Cassie Womack, and I are very much equipped to run a bar of this size and magnitude, and we have a lot of experience between the two of us. We're asking for a mural and a muralist. We want a really, really unique design element, something that's going to attract, the social media influencers. We want people to be able to take selfies in front of the wall, and we want something that's just going to attract customers walking by. So if you could assist me with that, that would be amazing. And if we win the 3K, we would use it towards licenses and permits. DC has a lot of regulations and they can get pretty pricey. So we'd love some assistance with that. Thank you so much for listening to my pitch. And I look forward to seeing all of you on September 22 at the Bloom. Cheers.
Thank you, Amber. That was a lot of fun. Okay. Let's see if we get some reactions to Amber's pitch. Patricia, have you got a question for Amber?
Amber, this is just an incredible idea, and I love the focus on inclusion. I also love how you outlined your segmentation plan. I'm particularly interested in knowing, with the success that you've had with the pop-ups and the disruption you had with the pandemic, why you're looking to go back to the model of having the bar with indoor operations.
So one of the reasons that I decided, again, to close that space was one, because we had outgrown it. And then two, also, it did not have an outdoor area. My new space now does have an outdoor space, which is very much so needed right now when you're coming out of a pandemic and when you're also dealing with people that are a little sketchy about coming out still. So
thank you for clarifying that. That's great.
Great. Any other comments for Amber? Very powerful idea.
I think we're silent because it's a really solid idea.
I was going to say, yeah. I think you left everybody speechless, but I do see Jeff's hand is up. Jeff, you have a comment?
I'm impressed as well. The fact that you've been testing the idea and making revenue, that's really, really impressive. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be?
I think for me, the biggest challenge is going to be kind of juggling this opening, right? Right now, I still am doing my internship with Accenture, which I love. I'm a mother, and I'm also still in this Georgetown program. So I just am familiar with what it takes and the time and energy that you have to put into opening up a commercial spot. So I'm going to have a few sleepless nights. So
well, good luck. Hope you can build a team around you to support you with that.
Yes, thank you.
The only question I would throw out your way was the same one I threw to Anthony, which is, if no one's done it, why has no one done it? And just go dig into that and know kind of what might be hiding around the corner waiting for you.
Yes, thank you. But I did do it before, right?
Fair.
Yes, no, and I do think that I could have kept Wicked Bloom open. But to me, financially, it just made more sense to take the money that I had made and put it into a larger space, which is kind of what I did, and then just have the pop up, you know.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
All right. Why don't we go on to our next pitch? Next up is Saeed Al-Wahid is going to tell us about A Warrior's Way.
Good afternoon. I'm Coach Saeed, and today I'd like to present to you A Warrior's Way, LLC training service. I've been personally training and working in the health and fitness industry for 12 years. However, I'd like to give you a brief glimpse of my experience.
Good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, work. Count out 10 seconds, y'all. Go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Good.
Introducing A Warrior's Way training performance service. A unique 90-day fitness program that combines a multifaceted exercise plan with personalized nutrition advice to achieve superior results. There's a problem in the health and fitness industry today, and that problem is there is an inadequacy and inefficiency with trainers as well as training services. For example, have you ever went into a gym and signed up for a gym or a trainer in their session? And once you left that session, the trainer says to you, "See you next Thursday," and you don't hear from that trainer until next Thursday. Most of the changes that happen with that fitness journey, it happens outside the gym. Most of the discipline that you need to exact, it happens outside of the gym. Most of those nutritional check-ins you need, it happens outside of the gym. Those snacks that you sneak, you're doing it outside of the gym. Those calories you need to monitor, it happens outside of the gym. That protein intake you need to check into. These things happen outside of the gym. The problem is there's no connections outside of the gym. So I bring to you the solution, our solution, A Warrior's Way. One of our key components within our solution of A Warrior's Way training service is our fitness class timetable. The key is a schedule of individual training sessions that varies throughout the week. Also, one of our essential key components is part of our approach. We have a holistic and customized approach that allows our athletes to tailor their fitness approach and plans to their desires and their goals. We also gear our personal trainer chat. What this is a platform that allows individuals that are new to this fitness journey to come to a place to meet, to gain insight as to how to eat, what to eat, when to eat, things of that nature. So this creates a sort of a meeting place, if you will, for these athletes. And who do we target? We target any individual in the DMV area who is committed to fitness and health, striving to reach better versions of themselves, but are not getting the results they want from their current regimen. As for the marketing opportunity, the numbers are right there. Feel free to discuss them with me in the near future after this discussion. As for our services, we pride ourselves on being a premium service, definitely. So our premium coaching, our one-on-one services, we also have group classes, and we offer a season package as well. As for expertise, I, Saeed Abdul Wahid, am the founder. I have been in the industry for 12 years, and I've trained with some of the best gyms in the industry. As for my ask and my visions, I'm asking for $2,000 towards the marketing costs as well as equipment and startups. As for my vision, I definitely intend to expand and train other trainers to expand this culture of the Warriors way, to ensure that other trainers do not lack do not possess these inefficiencies, inadequacies as far as being in touch with the athletes. I definitely would like to open a gym in the near future, and I'm hoping for, actually shooting for 2024. I definitely like to thank you for your time and your consideration. Feel free to contact me at SW1282, A Warrior's Way at Georgetown.edu. I thank you for your time, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Saeed. That was a lot of fun. Okay, let's see if we have any questions for Saeed. Let's see. Mo, do you have a question for Saeed? Don't know if you can hear me. Okay, maybe lost him. Looks like Patricia, your hand is up. Do you have a question or a comment for Saeed?
Yes, your presentation was so excellent that it actually makes me want to sign up today. And so I'm very curious as to how you, arrived at this holistic solution, because I think it's not only critical, but it's a dynamic and compelling one. So that's my first question. My second related question is to whether or not this is unique to the point where you might consider pursuing some sort of patenting for this approach.
Yes, well, definitely. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely.
Yes. To be brief, since the beginning of time, if you look back at at some of our forefathers and ancestors, they were very defined. And if you look at their eating habits, it leaned more towards what we would consider herbivores. They ate a lot of plant-based. Their dieting was more towards plant-based, but they were defined. They did a lot of labor work. So what we would consider calisthenic work, pounding the pavement was less lifted up. There wasn't a lot of weight lifting. You know what I mean? It considered more of them utilizing their body, different plane of movements and things of that nature. And this is what we've neglected these days, and we've become lazy. And so getting back to that holistic approach of eating healthy and using our body is a holistic approach. And I believe that creates more longevity, and it's a healthier sense of living. So that's what I want to get back to. And that's what I've actually been doing, actively training in my experience of the last 12 years. It's a warrior's way, and I believe our forefathers were warriors.
Right. Let's see. Jason.
Saeed, I loved your presentation, and I'm not gonna speak to the business model so much as what I just heard from a marketing lens that I love. Oftentimes, you can't find a really sharp insight that sounds new and sounds different, right? And when you said it's not what happens in the gym, it's what happens between the gym. That is a new way to think. That is a refreshing insight, right? And if you can start to think about what you offer is not just, because the gym matters, right? Not just what happens in the gym, but what happens between the gym. And that's how you start to define and market your holistic approach. And then, as you just said, stemming from generations and generations of learning of calisthenic movement, and even like this comes into every part of what you do between the gym. It has to do with how you walk to work, how you walk up the stairs. Like when I used to take yoga, I started to realize the movements I did in my life that were part of yoga. And it's like, if you can bring all of that to life, now you're telling this big, beautiful, holistic story of how it's not just what happens between the gym, but it's also every day is the gym. You know what I mean? And I just loved how you said that and how you set this beautiful insight up. And I think it could really differentiate you in the marketplace.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other questions for Saeed? I think you've inspired us all to get a little bit more dedicated to our fitness routines.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, super. Okay, we've got 2 more pitches still to come. Next, we're going to hear from Deron Webb. He's going to tell us about Pattie Mae's Omelette Bar.
Hello, and thank you for joining me today. I would like to introduce you to my cutting-edge idea for a new food truck, Pattie Mae's Omelette Bar. Pattie Mays was inspired by my late grandmother, who was a chef at Catholic University for decades. She passed away at a relatively young age from congestive heart failure, and it's always been a big thing of mine to make sure I honored her in the right kind of way. She always taught me that breakfast was the important meal, most important meal of the day. So today, I introduce you to Pattie Mays Omelette Bar. We start with the problems that we're having right now with breakfast and trucks in the DC area. A lot of people don't know that 87% are at a higher risk of getting cardiovascular disease if you don't eat breakfast. And there's a greater risk for type 2 diabetes. Most people don't have time to make a healthy breakfast because they're just always on the go. And most grab and go options are low in nutritional quality. So the solution for that is Pattie Mays freshly cooked omelets. They're going to be accessible, affordable, and convenient. And by the way, very delicious. What we want to target with our customers are three types. We have the healthy consumers who like to watch their weight and watch what they eat. The grab and go consumers who want to just grab something quick and healthy on the go so they can keep moving. And the egg lovers. Eggs are the second leading breakfast option behind cereal in the nation. For the market size, we have a sample here of some metro stations that we look at that be typically the most busiest. So these numbers just reflect metro entries. This is not counting the numbers of people that come out of the stations or the foot traffic that's in these areas. And the great news about food trucks is they can park at regular metered spots just like cars. So that'll be convenient. As far as the competition go, we look at places like Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's, who use processed foods to make their meals, which is very unhealthy. And only one egg breakfast food truck exists in the DC area called Culinary Nomad, but they make Latin infused breakfasts like quesadillas and frittatas, so they don't have omelets. We, on the other hand, will be one of a kind, DC's specialty omelet truck. For the revenue, in our menu, you see that we have 12 different style omelets ranging from $7.99 to $12.99, and you have options to get sides, soft drinks, or juices. And the revenue and expenses, if you look at the bottom line, the profit per year will be $257,000 minus $90,000 for expenses, which would leave us with a total profit of $167,400 in a year. For the startup cost, we look at $60,000 for the truck, $7,000 for kitchen equipment, $8,000 for permits and registration licenses and insurance, $7,500 for food and beverage and paper supplies, and another $7,500 for signage and miscellaneous things, which brings the startup cost to a total of $90,000. For market testing, we want to do pop-ups, do market stalls at places like Union Market, food festivals that we have in the area on a regular basis, and even give out free samples to people so they know that we're getting started up and let them know that the company is coming soon. As far as my team right now, it just consists of me. I do plan on eventually hiring a cashier or another worker to help me as the business gets busier. But as you can see, I have 15 years experience in the culinary industry, working for places like Cheesecake Factory, the West End Hotel, and Classic Gallery Place, and also the Capitol Hill Lounge, just to name a few. For the next steps, we want to create a website to say coming soon to let people know that the business is getting started. I want to register the business by the summer of 2022. I want to host pop-up events so we can market to customers that way. And also I want to have a grand opening launch by the beginning of 2023. My ask for this business is I need assistance with startup funding. I need assistance with developing a full business plan to get the business off the ground, and advice on the most ideal places to park the food trucks. With that being said, I would like to thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you would like to join me in making this business soar. Who's ready to take flight with me? Thank you.
Thank you, Deron. Let's get a couple of questions, comments for Deron. Guillermo, great.
Excellent presentation. I thought it was very tasty. Now, congratulations, very, very well done. I think that your idea is very good. Your approach to healthy, but good food, it's what everyone would be looking for. My question, which would you think it would be your main challenge at the very beginning when you start?
All right, thank you, Mr. Powell, for the question. Thank everybody for being here with me. I see my man, Mr. Jones. Haven't seen him in a minute. Shout out to Project Empowerment and all my folks over there. My main issue with starting would probably be the funding to get it started. Trucks typically, a good used food truck would be about somewhere between $40,000 to $60,000. So for me, the biggest thing to start would just to be able to get the funding to get the truck. I could do the marketing, I could do of course I can do the cooking. I've been cooking for a long time. So my biggest concern would really just to be, where would I get the money to actually get it off the ground?
Would it be a possibility for you to share this idea with another restaurant that might be able to provide the funding, so you diversify their selling and their offerings?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because actually in my internship that I work with at Penn Social and Little Penn Coffee House, I work with Mr. Jeff Dawson. Shout out to Jeff. He has been one of my biggest supporters since the start of the program. And he's actually implemented in me that he's willing and able to help me do whatever that I need to do to get it started, whether that be using the kitchen in our own restaurant as an incubator to make my own things, or hosting my own events at the restaurant that we work at now. So I have, people in my corner that really support what I want to do and how I want to do it. And I just appreciate them so much for having my back and always giving me the right advice and the things that I need to do.
Thank you very much. It's been an excellent presentation, and I hope you really are able to start the way you wish.
Thank you.
Well done, Deron. That's great. All right, so we've got one more presentation, and this one's from Maya Moore, WildChild Records.
My name is Maya Moore, and I am CEO and founder of WildChild Records. Early March of 2022, I had the opportunity of joining a virtual community that was geared toward growth on TikTok. For $3,000, me and hundreds of artists from all around the world were able to work within this community for 10 weeks, learning how to create quality content, network, build our following, and so much more. This community was expensive, but effective. And in fact, it was so effective that many of us didn't want it to end. So here at WildChild Records, we decided to offer a similar model, but with more options over a longer period of time and at a fraction of the cost. Today, many independent artists struggle with isolation. As artists, there's so much that we don't know. We don't know how to produce our music, how to promote, how to reach out to blogs, write press releases, all things that are crucial to our success. So our solution is a community, a collaborative artistic community, giving independent artists a space to work with other artists and professionals can do more for an artist than any YouTube tutorial ever could. And how do I know this? Well, one, because I'm an artist, and two, because I've witnessed this firsthand by being a part of a community. What we're going to do with WildChild Records is give the artist feedback, one-on-one support, access to professional recording and videography equipment, and so much more. So there's no need to spend thousands of dollars on album artwork, press releases, studio time, professional shots, promo videos, and so on. Everything is right here in our community. So who is our community geared to? Well, independent artists. Independent musicians with a hip hop R&B background. After doing an artist discovery, we found out that out of 10 artists interviewed, 8 stated that they pay $1,000 for a 3-month membership. Now, the other 2 were opposed, and they were only opposed until they found out that our payment plans offer a little bit of flexibility and that we also guarantee between 10 and 30,000 followers on their TikTok platforms. So as far as competition goes, the best competition is no competition. And what we did was eliminate the competition. In this area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, there are no in-person communities doing what WildChild Records is doing. You have your music production companies that offer studio space with professional engineers, artist development plans, marketing, but you won't get one-on-one mentor support or a space for professional shots and promo videos. And with these professional studios, you're looking to pay anywhere between $300 and $500 just to record, mix, and master one song. All perks we include in our package. Now, the big question is this even a growing market? Absolutely. In fact, audio production revenue has grown by 1.6% this year and has seen a 4.7% growth in market size since 2017. With our model, we launched our first cohort on January 1st, working with 5 independent artists over the course of 3 months. After those 3 months are up, we will take on another 5 artists. The previous cohorts, though, will still have access to our mentors and advisors and will be able to utilize WildChild Records recording studio for a discounted price. In year 2, we'd expanded 10 artists, and in year 3, 20. With our model, we can quickly grow into a multi-million-dollar company within the next 5 years. And with that said, I'd like to introduce you all to my team. Myself, I have 2 years experience as a mentor and advisor and over 10 years experience as a musician. Mr. Clay, he has over 10 years experience as an audio engineer, 5 years experience as a videographer, and 3 years as a mentor. Ms. Marshall, our advisor and investor, has over 20 years of experience. And Pretty Kitty has 10 years of experience as a musician and 1 year experience as a mentor. And with a team of passionate professionals, we guarantee that our artists will acquire between 10 and 30,000 followers on their TikTok platforms by the end of the 3 months. How can I guarantee it? Because I was able to grow my following by 8K within 5 weeks through a consistent post strategy, which all of our artists will begin in week 1. So just know WildChild Records already has the equipment and space, so the $3,000 prize money will go towards startup fees, operational expenses, and marketing. Here's our contact info, and please feel free to reach out with any questions. Thank you.
When you left me, I was just 23 and my heart couldn't take it. Fell deep in them drugs and out there rehab, but my body couldn't shake it. If I didn't get locked up when I did, swear to God, I probably wouldn't make it. But I did, and I know some people hate it. Show love, but I know some people fake it. And I gotta get back to the ones that gave to me, because I never will forget it.
Great. Thank you, Maya. All right, let's see. Jason, I think you're a good person to ask a question to Maya. What do you think?
I think it's great. I love to see that you kind of already have proof of concept. You know, it's funny. I was when you said, you know, basically remove the competition. I love those types of visual examples of like why, you know, you don't actually compete with anybody while there's others in several of your spaces. I kept thinking about, because my good friend was the CMO, Kajabi. You know, Kajabi was this one-stop shop for entrepreneurs. And I think you should take a look at that model, because what you're doing for musicians is exactly that, where and you know, LeBron James always used to say, make the thing, right? And it was like, he's going to be the athlete and the team's going to handle the business. And I think what you have here is this great way of, you're going to let the artist focus on the music, and then you're going to build around that artist to build the business. So again, I come at it more from a marketing lens of like, here's how to make sure people hear the right message and they see the right way you built the business, so they know it's about them. But I really think you built something great here, and there's a couple models you can pull from, and it's really viable. And I think you've got a really great team. So I actually don't have a question so much as just some advice and congratulations.
Thank you, Jason. That's good. And we definitely have time to be flexible with it and figure out the best approach, because we won't be launching until January.
I think one last thought. I think if anything, it's like, if you want to scale and start to be able to point to your success stories, because at the end of the day, artists are going to come to you because they heard you put somebody on, right? So I think it's actually going to be on you to choose carefully who you bring in and who you mentor and cultivate, because you want to be able to show results. And then that's going to be your calling card for how you bring your next cohort. And then you start elevating, you know, the scale and the size and the quality of the musician that you keep bringing into your system.
Yes. Yep. That's it.
All right, great. Okay, we're going to have to cut it there and give the judges some time to deliberate. So judges, I'm glad I'm not one of you, because I'm biased, but I would find this a really tough choice. In any case, please send us your scores, and I'm going to hand it back over to Dr. Francis. So we've got some more, we've got a few more special guests we want to feature.
Yes, so thank you so much. This was an amazing pitch competition. I would like to welcome to the stage to give special remarks while the judges deliberate, the MSB Dean, Paul Almeida. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Francis, and congratulations to all the fellows. I really enjoyed the presentations. I was in a long, boring board meeting before this, and this was so much better. So congratulations to our fourth cohort of Pivot Fellows for your amazing presentations and really for your amazing ideas. The ninja, if I wasn't so old and falling apart, I would join that. It was very, very inspirational. Then, of course, the Warrior's Way, this 90-day fitness program, that, if I got it right, includes the eating, the exercise, and the community. As people get to my age, we need, that whole balance and the community to support us in the effort. If I'm remembering rightly, the 1140 Music Alliance. What hit me was how correctly you pointed out the challenges faced by new artists in this industry. Of course, later we had WildChild Records. And I love the idea of letting artists do what they do best while you take care of the business. The idea about, was it a halfway house that actually works with a focus on pre-release training? I hope I'm getting that right. The towing company that offers parking management services and ties up with, private property. The inclusive bar, by the way, I love H Street. I think it's such a cool space and it's becoming such an important part of DC. And of course, I like eating, as you probably guessed by now. I would come to Pattie May's Omelette Bar and have a healthy breakfast. So it's just wonderful hearing so many great ideas for the future. And I think what the presentations told me is that you, the Pivot Fellows, are all our returning citizens actually, are an incredibly important resource for our city, our community, our businesses. And you showed both passion and analysis at the same time in terms of what you presented, in terms of your answers as well. You understood customers, you understood market opportunities, you understood competition. That's really important. And yet I saw the passion and commitment that each of you really cared about the project, had every intention of going ahead with it. So this is so good, and congratulations again. I just briefly want to thank all the parts of the Georgetown family that have come together. When Pietra Professor Rivoli had told me many years ago, more than 4 years ago, she wanted to start this program, I thought it was a great idea. And my greatest hope was that this program can help change us as who we are, our faculty, our staff, our advisors, our parent council, our relationship with the DC government and the business community. And I really believe that this program is doing that. Just seeing all the people here from around, Europe and the Middle East. So thank you so much. I am so proud. Thank you to Pietra, Alyssa, Dr. Francis, Josh, the whole team for what you do and how you really care deeply about this program and about our fellows. Thank you everyone for working together to create something truly special. I'm deeply grateful just to be a small part of this. So keep going. Don't give up on your dreams. Hoya Saxa.
Thank you so much, Dean Almeida. Now, I would like to take the opportunity to invite Latasha Moore to the stage to announce our 2022 Partner Award.
Thank you, Dr. Francis. So I would like to present our 2022 Pivot Partner of the Year Award to Jeff Dawson of Penn Social. Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you for your continued support of the Pivot program.
it has been an incredible honor to work with the Pivot program.
From the entrepreneurial drive, the expertise, and seasoned sales professionals, the skill sets and passion showcased early on set the tone for the partnership.
I think it's critical, for businesses to be able to engage with the community, especially when they have such a important role to help returning citizens.
We have a Pivot alum on our staff and also a current intern, and we plan to continue to support Pivot Fellows within our organization.
This position is a great example of starting to change that narrative, at least here in National League of Cities.
I think that returning citizens are the single greatest opportunity for businesses in this country.
From our first meeting and interviews, we were blown away by the caliber of talent and the unique value offering of each candidate.
It's just, another great opportunity for us to, first of all, recruit talent, and then definitely be able to help change somebody's life and offer everything that Beaumont has to offer.
Hosting the Pivot Fellow has continued to open our eyes to the importance of second chance hiring.
Everybody deserves a second chance. I am working with such joyful, interesting, wonderful people. I hope that I can then return that joy to the participants in the program. And I look forward to doing that for many years.
Wow, congratulations to Penn Social, to Mr. Dawson, and thank you so much to all of our internship hosts that helped make that part of the Pivot program possible. While the judges are still deliberating, we want to take an opportunity to let you know where some of our alumni business owners are and what they're doing. I would like to take the opportunity to actually introduce you to the first alumni who's going to give just a brief snippet of her business showcase and where she is now. Mimi Dickey, the founder and CEO of Flolango Cosmetics line. She's an artist and author, and she is a member of the 2020 cohort of the Speakers Bureau and the class of 2020 for the Pivot program. So before we hear Mimi's spiel on where she is now as an entrepreneur, I want us to play this brief commercial about her product. Mimi, welcome to the stage. Let us know, how are things going? How can we connect? How can we purchase this product?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, first off, for having me. I truly appreciate the Pivot program deeply, for having me back to speak. This is really just inspiring, and just first off, congratulations to everyone. That was a great pitch. So Flolango was initially founded while I was in the Pivot program. I've always wanted to have a business, but I had no idea what business idea to pursue. And it just happened. I was like, oh, two things that I love, makeup and poetry. And being a poet, I had published a book when I was previously incarcerated, I would write a poem each day and date it. And when I go home, I published my book with a stipend the Pivot program had given me, as well as my clothing line for my book. And then started my business, Flolango. And I officially released Flolango last year. And when I initially started, I only had 2 products, an eyeshadow palettes and my eye set products. And currently, Flolango has 17 products altogether. And I'm just so grateful for everything. I was speaking the other day and just speaking about how the Pivot program really just changed my life entirely, pursuing my business dream and growing the business and bigger things yet to come. Currently, I'm working on getting a storefront where I can sell the products. And so, yeah, I'm just truly grateful to be here and to, share this experience and to have the opportunity to be able to do this. Thank you.
Wow, Mimi, thank you so much. Mimi, please drop a link in the chat.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Amazing. The next
Absolutely.
business showcase that we want to offer here is from another Pivot alumni, Marcus Butler, the owner of Rome Digital. He is a graduate of cohort 1 and he offers web design and other digital services. Some of his clients have been Treyon White on the DC Council and Rockbox Fitness. So let's welcome to the stage, Marcus. How are things going? Let us know about your service.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Things are going well. So yeah, like Dr. Francis said, I offer web services, and mainly on Shopify and WordPress. I like to do Shopify sites, online stores for small businesses, and I also like to do WordPress sites because they give me a lot of customization options, and that's what my business thrives off of, being able to be a hub for people to come through and have customizable websites that they want, not from a cookie cutter type of service. So what I like to do is I offer Shopify sites, and with Shopify sites, I offer email blasting, theme design, search engine optimization, Google placement, Facebook market placement, Instagram shopping placement. And for WordPress sites, I like to do a lot of theme design, custom themes, and a lot of custom plugins. So for Treyon White, his website, TreyWhiteForMayor.com, we did a custom plugin that counts the votes from this election that's coming up, actually. And we also work with a lot of bigger companies as well. So we did a online school in Southern California that's been going pretty good. So I like to target my company towards small businesses, but we work with all businesses. So if you have a custom plugin, you have a custom design you want to try to implement for your business or organization, then I'm the guy to talk to. You can also find me at marcusjbutler.com. Send me a message, and we can work on whatever your project is, or you can give me a call as well. I'll leave my number and my website address in the chat. And I love working with you guys. Any way I can help, I'd love to help.
Thank you so much. And to our new entrepreneurs, I may want to patronize Mr. Marcus Butler. So if anybody needs a website, put your information, website, and contact in the chat. So we're almost at the point of what you've been waiting for to determine our winners. But before we do that, I want to invite Pietra back up to the stage for a special announcement. Pietra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Crystal. I'm thrilled to interrupt this show very briefly to let everyone know about a truly wonderful surprise. I think Alyssa and Crystal mentioned at the beginning of our show today that we had $10,000 in prize money to award to our Pivot Fellows. Thanks to a member of the audience who would like to remain anonymous, we have just received an additional $5,000 gift that will bring our total prize money today to $15,000. Thank you so much for this incredible vote of confidence. Back to you, Crystal.
Now, the time that you've all been waiting for, the announcement of the winners. We're gonna start off with some honorable mentions. Then we will go into who our first, second, and third places are. This has been a very, very difficult process, but we would like to start with our honorable mentions, who will be walking away with $750 for great presentation. We Fit Ninja, Pattie May Omelette Bar, Hybrid Elevation Reentry House, Warriors Way, and 1140 Music Alliance. So congratulations, fellows, for your, it was such a tight competition. All right. Going for third place. WildChild Records. Maya, congratulations. Second place. Already in Motion Towing. Muhammad, great job. And first place. Amber, B.a.R. Yay! So we want to say congratulations, congratulations. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to say, I'm speechless, but if you want to learn more about how you can support our fellows in their ventures and even patronize our alumni ventures, please visit our website at pivot.georgetown.edu and please send us an email at pivot@georgetown.edu and we will connect you to our entrepreneurs. With that, I want to say thank you so much for attending. Shout out to the Pivot team and to our fellows. This event would not be made possible without you. Special thanks to our judges and all of our program partners. And this concludes this afternoon's pitch competition. Have a good night.